What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you my curves editor and how I use it. So I just recently started using a curve editor inside MSI Afterburner, and I've only used it on a few cards, my 2060 and my 2070 Super, the only cards I've used it on. Now you may wonder why I would use a curve editor, and I can actually get better efficiency out of my cards. And you'll notice my core clock isn't just down at negative 502 like some, and power limit actually doesn't play as big of a role here. So my miner is going, I'm using T-Rex miner, and you'll see my 2070 Super here is the one that we're really going to be paying attention to in this video. So I'll give you a brief example. If I were to turn my curve editor up to, let's say, 775, now what I do is I click on the curve where I want it for the millivolts. So this is my voltage. So it's, and I'm just going to click L on my keyboard, and then I'm going to apply it. So when I apply it, my power limit's not really going to do as much. You saw my megahertz go up a little bit. Now my memory overclock's still controlled by this, but you'll notice my power going up. But you'll notice my mega hash will probably stay pretty much on par with where it was. And what I'm trying to do is tune my efficiency as best as possible. And this is how I do it. This is how I was taught how to do it. There's great people on Discord servers, and Misfit Mining, things like that, that are helpful enough to teach you how to do stuff like this. And if you are having issues, they'll help you out. But you'll notice I actually went down a little bit. I'm at 119 watts. So I'm going to go back down to, I was at 725. I'll put it just straight down at 700 and lock it there, and we'll see what happens. Now we'll watch, this is just on my 2070 Super. We'll see what my power goes to and what my mega hash goes to. Now for some reason when I had just the solo card on here, I was around 44 mega hash a second, but without it I'm down a little bit, just under 44, but I have 3 cards on it now. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. So I'm actually down at 107 watts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off there and see where my mega hash lands. Now if that starts dipping, then I'll slowly up. I might actually up my core then to bring my curve up. So I'm actually at 43.9 mega hash a second. So I actually went up a little bit. So I'm wondering if I turn this down slightly, I can get more mega hash, which wouldn't be a bad thing, but if I can get it at 107 watts, that would be good. So if I went to, actually I'm going to give it a couple more seconds, but this is how I do it. When I change the core when I change the core here, you'll see the curve go up and down. So I went to 44, so, and you've seen that the curve there drop once I hit enter. So I'm going to apply that and see what happens. I actually went up a little bit. So maybe we'll play a little bit. When I tried using the curve editor on my 2080s, I actually crashed the rig. I don't know if it was because of the curve editor or if it was for any other reason. I'm at 44.07 mega hash, which is good because I'm at 700 millivolts. So I'm at 44.14. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to stop playing with this one because that's actually the best hash rate and efficiency I've gotten out of this card. But actually, let's go in, and I'm going to go to one of my 2080s here, and I'm going to set my curve editor up here. So let's see what we can do. Maybe I can get some better efficiency out of this. I don't know. I don't know what millivolt I'm running at right now. It's not locked. I'm at 212. So I'm probably sitting, I'm going to say, let's go to 825 and lock it there. But this is how I would go tuning it on the curve. I'm going to see what happens. So it looks like I'm tuning this one right here because that one dropped a little bit. So this is pretty much how I'd go about tuning it. Now I go down slightly and slightly until I see, one, I want to watch my mega hash numbers. I want to watch my wattage. Efficiency will take care of itself here. So obviously the goal is, if you're new to overclocking your graphics cards for mining, you want to get the lowest wattage at the highest mega hash. Some people actually do a slightly lower mega hash for lower wattage and better efficiency depending on your power settings. So This one, let's look in the miner a little bit. So this one went up a little bit, and I was able to save a few watts. So let's go down to 800, and I'm going to lock it there, and I'm going to apply that, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to let that go for a little bit, because I could crash this rig, but I do know if I crash the rig where my overclock for my 2070 Super was, and I know I can just take this one off. But you always do run that risk when you're overclocking, pushing your card too hard or not pushing it enough and crashing your rig. But if I can keep this down near 110 watts, or no, 115 watts, I'll be pretty happy with that. And if I could raise the mega hash, I'll be even happier. And it looks like my mega hash is raising, and so is my efficiency. So when I dial this one in, they're all EVGA cards, and it looks like this one was actually my better one, because if you look at this one, I'm only at negative 200 core to get the same mega hash number, which could be the one that was crashing my rig. So I don't want to just copy my overclock like I would normally onto this card. But it looks like I'm at 115 watts at 43, so maybe I'll go down to 775 and see what happens there. But, you know, when you're tweaking curves and tuning, you know, you want to do it little by little and kind of just shave away and up slowly. This is at plus 1000, so I could probably go up a little bit more on my memory possibly, but I'm going to leave it right there and try and just shave away and get my efficiency up. But if I can get this down, like, I'm near 110 watts, so I may stop at 775 and let that go for a little while. But that's how I would do my curve editing. I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a video on how I do it inside Windows when you're messing with curves. This version of Afterburner, you just click curve editor and this window pops up and it always stays on top. But, you know, anyone that was looking to tweak their curves, that just gives you a slight tutorial. And like I said, I'm going to leave this at this, but if I up this to, like, you know, like, we'll do something drastic so you can see like negative 100 and hit enter, you'll see this entire curve shoot up. But I'm going to leave it at negative 502 because that's where it was. But you saw it just shoot up, and that's how I'll change my megahertz for my GPU as far as a core clock, and not change the millivolt. It would just up this slightly along this, so you can up it slowly to see if you can get better mega hash. The people that say core doesn't matter as far as your hash rates, I shy away from that. I don't believe that as much, because I have, like you see on this other one, I didn't just crank it all the way down. I'm still running at 1200 megahertz, which is probably around the same as this one's at 1080, but I'm only negative 200 and this one's negative 502. So maybe this curve is different, I'm not sure, or maybe it's somewhere else on this curve. I'll probably go in and lock this one somewhere, but I'll do that off camera and tweak it, because that was the one that was probably crashing my rig. But I hope somebody finds this video a little useful that wants to get into using curves and wasn't doing it before, but that's how I do it personally on my rigs. But thanks for checking this video out. Let me know your overclocks and your curve settings, if you're using a 2070 Super or 2080, what hash rates you're getting on Ethereum. But, you know, like I said, thanks for checking this video out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.